sure look. It'll be grand.
Hello, folks. I hope you're all well. I hope you had a lovely Christmas or whatever variation you have upon that. Welcome back to A Short It'll Be Grand, a podcast of two Irish gobshites reviewing movies and giving you our unwanted opinion. I am Dan. This is Owen.
What's the crack?
And we are the aforementioned two gobshites. So, Christmas is behind us now, and we're back onto normal schedules. We had a few little episodes between the last main review and this. You know, we've had a top 5 there, didn't we, Owen?
We did our top 5 Christmas movies.
Yeah. And what else did we do, Owen?
We reviewed Wonder Woman 1984.
And to know how much we loved that movie, go back to our review, come back straight away afterwards, excuse yourself for coming in late. And anyway, yes, so I gave a little bit of a clue. Last time we were talking about what we were going to do next. I said Puka. Any Irish-speaking people out there? It's Ghost in the Shell, our first anime movie review.
Our first ever anime. I have never seen an anime ever.
Yes.
That's not true. I have seen some, but
yes, he likes a lot of shonen, and this is not really shonen.
I like shonen.
I mean, I'm sure it's just one person somewhere going, "What the fuck, Daniel? Of course it's shonen. It's just a special subgenre." I get it. I like anime, but not super. I would say this is not shonen. Anyway, Owen, sorry.
I like shonen TV shows to an extent, and I like the works of Makoto Shinkai, and that's kind of it, I guess.
Yeah,
really.
And but I think, like, of course, there is actually a big anime following and love, Japanese love in Ireland for the works of Japanese people and the media. But I think as an average Irish person, you probably know a little bit more than the average Irish person of anime.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've seen more than some, but nowhere near as much as others. But it's something I think I'd like to see more of. I guess it's probably a blind spot for me in a lot of areas. So I would,
because it is a big cultural thing, to be fair. Like,
I was looking forward to this, so.
Yeah, that was a bit of a daunting sentence there at the end, but look, we'll go for it. Anyway, look, let's go into Ghost in the Shell. The director is a man called Mamoru Oshii. By the way, I'm going to mispronounce every single one of these by accident or on purpose. Please forgive me. Writers are Shiro Masumu, based on the manga, and Kazunori Oto. Yes? Please correct me. Just comment. Please comment.
Katsunori Ito.
Yeah, I think we could easily be both terribly wrong.
I'm right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Look, usually we talk about actors we know in this and directors and that kind of stuff. But we're a little bit held back, I suppose, on this one.
I can tell you one thing, that the man who voiced Bato in the English dub voices the Joker in Injustice: Gods Among Us. There's something I learned.
Huh.
But that's a thing. That's just like English voice actors, in particular in like anime dubs. You'll see the same names like crop up 67 million times across 900 different movies and games and stuff.
I suppose I brought the horse behind the cart before the horse, because I should tell you about the storyline of Ghost in the Shell. For those who don't know, it is the far-off year of 2029. So let's get ready for cyberpunk. Well, not that cyberpunk.
The game might be finished by 2029. You never know.
Mind you, it'll be just as dystopian in 2029. So be grand. It's so Ghost in the Shell. The idea is that some humans get parts of their bodies and their brains replaced by technology, and so the ghost is like the human part, like basically the soul, of the original human, and the shell is kind of like the AI and circuitry that works around us. I think that's a good way to just explain it.
Yeah, more or less, I guess.
Yeah. And we follow this character who
the
called
ghost,
Major.
Yeah, the ghost is the consciousness.
Yeah,
that's still,
it's the human factor
is inside the now cyber brain or whatever the fuck they've created.
Yeah, but we follow the adventure of Major Motoko Kusanagi. Um, and, she is a cyber enhanced woman who we see, for some reason, all her breasts all the time. That, to be honest, it catches your attention, so maybe it worked there for the 80s and 90s there. And she's on the trail of this cyber criminal called the Puppet Master, who is like hacking into cyborg brains and leaving bits of information and taking control and all that kind of stuff. That's what they're all about. And yeah, should we get into the plot?
Yes, because I really would like an answer to this "what the hell is going on here" question.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So, I mean, the plot seems fairly straightforward. Future person, that's technology and stuff. Someone's hacking shit, and they're trying to hunt them down in a cyberpunky world. But it's not cyberpunk in the way we really perceive it, because a lot of the cities kind of really like this run down. It's more like old traditional Hong Kong married to like over the top capitalism with high skyscrapers. Like you still see like the small boats going down like little roads and that kind of stuff. And you still see garbage collectors, and you still see like, phone booths and that kind of stuff. While at the same time, you have a cyborg person running around with invisibility.
Yeah, most of the cyber advancements seem to have been made in the realm of like improving human physiology, making them stronger and live forever and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what they're talking about. There's often in this movie where some of the cyborgs have a conversation with other cyborgs saying like, hey, how much of you is remaining? And hey, why do you use like a traditional analog gun? Why don't you use a digital one? It's better. And it's like, we just simply run faster because we have the technology. It's very much this kind of transhumanism, but without the nice golden sheen of it.
It's are we still talking about the plot?
Yeah, I suppose we
Look,
could go.
I'm just gonna be honest straight off the bat. I'm not sure I'm smart enough to fully grasp everything that was going on in this movie. I don't know. It was just. I'm gonna try maybe, but I'm willing to admit that I didn't quite get it.
I definitely think it's a movie that's full of symbolism and references to culture and economy and all this kind of stuff. I mean, and a lot of the movie is just there's no one talking, and they just kind of zoom up on certain like people's emotions as they stand still, or they look at a shop window with mannequins in it, and that's a recurring thing. It's the kind of thing like I imagine you watch in film school, and then someone brings out the notebooks, and now we're going to go through each scene explaining what was told in this.
I don't even know. I don't think so. See, the thing is, I read a thing from the director, and he said that in his world, I think his almost his exact words were he doesn't do things the Hollywood way, which is how we're familiar with movies being made. In that he places, he said he regards the visuals as the most important thing in a movie.
Yeah,
and the characters come last.
Okay.
He says it's visuals, then the story, and then characters are the least important thing in his movies when he makes them. And
that's fair for this movie.
I mean, yeah, because there are no.
That's what I mean. Like
no
the visuals are
thing.
symbolism. It's metaphor. Like
it is
the whole time. Like
I don't know. I can't get into a movie if there's no characters in it.
So what you're saying is this movie is probably good, but it's a little bit beyond our understanding of movies.
I think it's fantastic in a lot of ways. It's just not.
It's gorgeous.
It's not personally. It's not personally something.
Yeah.
I go for in movies that I like. I can't deny that it's good, and there's no denying you can't watch this and not think, hey, yeah, it's The Matrix.
Yeah,
they made the
Matrix borrowed a lot from this.
The Wachowskis kind of took this. Like when they were making The Matrix, they showed the production studio this movie and said, "This is what we want to do," and then they kind of just did it. So like,
yeah,
it's massively influential, and a lot of really big filmmakers in the West love it. Like,
yeah,
it's one of James Cameron's favorite movies, and this director is one of James Cameron's favorite working directors.
To be fair, Cameron is also quite a visual director. Like,
yeah, and it's not. No, I'm not saying the visuals are important. It have to. And it's always better to be like show don't tell is always better in film. I'm just saying it's just in this in particular. There's nobody like
you care about.
There's nobody has a personality. There's no characters in it. They're just kind of there to service
the plot. Yeah,
not even necessarily the plot, because the plot is kind of messy, but it's more just the topic that he wants to talk about. The kind of the effect of technology on humanity and what it means to be human in a world where there's all this crap going on, which is fine.
Yeah,
he does it. I mean, he gets his points across sometimes.
He certainly does. Yeah, but look, should we go into the actual plot? I think we kind of went a little bit into it anyway. But we follow this cyber enhanced police officer. She's in Section 9. She's called the Major. She has a sort of side buddy pal partner fella with funny lens eyes things, who's also an enhanced cop or agent.
That's
or
Bato.
Bato, yeah. I think Bato was meant to be the cracking person in this, and there's a little bit of that, but
like they speak in like wise philosophical phrases, if that's what you mean by wisecracking. Like there's no jokes, there's no little one-liners, there's no banter between anybody. It's just kind of people standing staring into the distance saying, "And what if I am a human? What if the human is me and the shell is my ghost and I am imprisoned by the world?" It's just like all this.
Classic Bato.
Like, oh, Bato, you're such a joker.
You wisecracking maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that, folks. He's very much. I mean, I think he is a little bit snarky, and he's a little bit. He kind of pushes the antagonist, saying, "Hey, look, this is reality. Why aren't we talking about this? We should be a bit more obvious about it." Don't you think that was his purpose? Kind of conscience?
Conscience? No, I think he's the one character in it that it was like me in that he didn't know what was going on. He was just kind of like, "Wait, Major, why are you doing this? What was that voice? What's happening here?" But that wasn't like I don't think that's a personality trait. It's just like they needed him there to ask the questions so that the movie could explain what was happening.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, but anyway, look, they are hunting down this guy who is, I think the beginning of the movie, it starts with just this guy who's paid someone to hack someone's account to find out information.
They're trying to, they're trying to find the puppet master who has ghost hacked, which is you can hack like a person's cybernetics and give them false memories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's done that to some like public figures and
some garbage man as well.
Some random garbage man happens to be working for him, and
and he wants this like his wife saying, "Hey, you know, it's really weird. My wife never talked to me, and then all of a sudden one day she moved out." And he's like, "She definitely got hacked." And yeah, okay,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. And then find out he doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have any kids. He was all made up by the puppet master.
But yeah, they hunt down this guy and they hunt him through some markets. It's mostly Bato who's chasing him, and the Major's running across buildings, chasing them down. He's using some sort of holographic invisibility jacket that once it's shot doesn't work, apparently. And and
he has a jacket that does it, but Major can only turn invisible when she's naked.
No, but she's not naked. The thing that we see is a bodysuit that happens to really show off her nipples.
No,
okay,
she's 100% naked.
No, it goes up to her neck. It goes up to her neck. Honestly,
it does it in the very beginning, in the very opening scene. She's wearing a white bodysuit. Afterwards, she's not. She's naked.
No, when she's fighting him at the water's edge, she had the bodysuit on as well.
I don't think so.
I guarantee you, because I was looking for it each and every time.
That's what you were looking at. That's why. That's why you were. Yeah, okay. You were paying super close attention to Major.
There was always, look, I'm sure symbolism and humanness and all that, but let's not pretend the nipple appeal wasn't here.
I mean,
Nipple appeal.
If they hadn't have been there, I would have fell asleep a lot earlier.
Yeah. There was kind of a lull at one stage where they didn't show it too much, and we kind of go,
I was asleep nearly for large parts of it. So forgive me if I get things wrong. 'Cause I just kind of went, wow, my brain is not turned on enough.
And again, I don't want to blame the movie for that. It's a very good movie in a lot of ways. It's just I don't think we're adjusted to it. To be honest. That's it.
I don't know, man. The next time a weeb tries to tell me that Ghost in the Shell is one of the best movies ever made, I'm just gonna kick him in the nuts, because it's not. It just isn't. It's not. It's fine, and you can. It's one of those things that it was interesting to see, having watched The Matrix and really liking the first Matrix.
The second one's good too.
Going back to watch this, it was nice to see. It's interesting. It's always interesting to watch like what influenced other movies that we consider great. So it was nice to see, and I'm glad I watched it. But
and it's gorgeous animated. Animation's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to look at, but it's no.
Anyway, look, we keep on going to the sideways saying, "What the fuck is this movie?" But the movie.
But that's the point, I think.
But the whole point is like she does. At one stage, she goes swimming, and he's just like, "I into you for it." That the buoyancy things, and you made a funny joke that I won't say again. You can say it if you want, but we won't. But like she's, "Oh no, I'm fine. You know, I don't really care." And they drink beer, and they talk about how, you know, beer, we can literally get sober instantly if we want to, and all this kind of stuff.
Which sign me up for that one.
Yeah,
I mean, implant.
No, I think you want the other one where you could just instantly get drunk. It was like,
no, because I'd like to go out and drink 15 pints and then just like flick my fingers and revert to having only drank 4.
You still want to be a little bit.
And you still want to get a little bit of a buzz on, but like, you know, you don't want to be falling asleep on the bar. You just click your fingers. Yeah. Well, I think I'll go home now, lads. I've had the best night of my life. I drank 67,000 pints, and I've been drunker ever than any man in history, and now I'm sober, and I'll just drive home. Fine.
You heard here first, folk. He was the most drunker.
The most drunker man. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, you know, they finally found out the Puppet Master is actually this specialized project AI thing that wants to be alive. You know, and that's the only way it can be alive is that if it experiences death and if it experiences copulation, like if it can, you know, reproduce rather than just clone itself. It wants to meet someone to basically partner with and make a new self. And we have this big battle scene, and the Major gets injured, and the Major then goes inside this project's head, and they make a new weird Gothica baby of both of them. And she goes off into the wide open, and that's pretty much it, isn't it?
That's the whole movie. Yeah, I feel like
there's someone listening to this is seething with anger with us.
I was thinking, I was about to be like, I feel like you skipped like 45 minutes of the movie, but I'm trying to think, did anything really happen in that 45 minutes?
I mean, there were different agencies who wanted something,
like,
and
they were like performing surgery on like the sentient AI's body that they found, and that he was like, I'm not a machine, I'm a thing. Nobody created me. I was born of the internet.
And the internet, like, or something
whatever.
like that.
They created me as a program to hack people, and I became sentient.
But he was actually born within the internet. That was kind of the net.
Yeah, well, he says that he was created as a program. Like there was a program created to ghost hack like diplomats and stuff all over the world. And in his travels around the net, he became sentient and became a life form or whatever.
Yeah.
But he wants to
be alive,
to prove he's alive by dying and having babies.
Which, you know, we can all understand.
Which he says is the two linchpins of being alive are you reproduce and you die. So
yeah. Hey, can't you just clone yourself? No, it's not the same.
No.
But he literally says that though. On stage, like, you duplicate, you clone yourself. No, we need diversity and such.
Yeah,
it's like,
come on,
but you clone yourself and then go off to another bit of the internet and it changes again.
I have to merge with you, Major, because I've been watching you and your nakedness all this time.
Actually, it's a bodysuit that's very tight.
You and your,
no, it's nakedness.
Fucking face that has no emotion at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. So obviously, a lot of people hated the live action movie, but I've watched some of the live action movie. And I think you've watched the whole thing, and those two movies don't have anything really in common, do they?
Not as far as I can remember. Like, it's been a while. I watched the live action when it came out, and my experience of that was, this is dumb, and I kind of stopped paying attention about halfway through it.
Yeah.
But as from what I can remember, the plot is not really the same to this.
No, it's not. Even like there was a big part of her, the major kind of trying to find who she was before, because she couldn't remember her past.
Like, I think so. We could be wrong. Feel free.
No, I remember it separately to you as well, so I think it's probably true.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Mandela effect. We both remember Ghost in the Shell wrong. It could. I don't know, but if we are, feel free to correct us. But that's, as far as I can remember, that was the plot of the live action Scarlett Johansson version. I remember it starts the same. It is the same opening scene of her like in the white suit jumping through, like scaling down the window and punching a bunch of people in an office or something. I'm pretty sure that's the same. And from there, I don't know.
Okay,
that's where it lost me.
So at the end, the major, or wherever the major child, I suppose, walks off and has a new body of a child. And that's about it. He got the body on the black market, which was a bit of a, all right.
He said it was the only body he could get at that on short notice or something. It's the only one available was just a child's body, and he just put her head on it or whatever. But,
it's just like, all right, fair enough.
It's symbolic though, because she's a newborn.
Because she's a child now.
Yeah, she's not just a major; she's both of them together in one.
Yeah,
even though she acts.
Look here. There's not much more to the plot. Look, honestly, folks, I understand this is some people's favorite movie, and if you want to give us points or tell us what more there is to it, very much feel free to comment. We'll actually be very grateful. But I just, Anyways, so let's get to the things we liked and disliked.
Well, we shall strike a balance between culture and fun.
Look, we'll go to you first. 3 things you didn't like.
I don't have 3, unfortunately.
Okay, then say things you didn't like.
I tried. I have 2. No, I have 2. All right. Visually, it is really nice to look at. All right. It's like the art for, even though it came out like 35 years ago or something. Now at this stage, it's like 1995. Like it's still.
So it's 25 years.
It's still beautiful. Like it is really beautiful. And there are
it's amazing to think it's hand drawn.
There are a lot of, it's not fully hand drawn.
Isn't that? Well, I know that was some CGI, but they used
digitally generated animation, which is it's a combination of cell animation and CG. And
so at the time, getting the midpoints.
At the time, they thought it was going to be like the future of animation and change everything, but it didn't really work out that way. But
all right.
It's like a combination of both, but it's really nice. There's some shots in it that are they're just shots of like the rain falling on an empty street in Newport City or something. They're just like really nice to look at, and that's cool. So like even if you're you could take a still from this and just, it's like a painting. It's really nice to look at. And I mentioned it briefly already. It's always nice for me to go back and see movies that inspired movies that like I would consider classics or like are right up there. Like you can clearly see, and of course this, not to say it's like completely original. There are aspects of it that it borrows from Blade Runner, but the Matrix is written all over this, and like most people our age would think like the Matrix is a classic. It's one of the biggest movies ever, and it's been massively influential since. And this is the movie that inspired that. So it's always nice to go back and see something like that. Like to watch, I don't know,
see the roots.
If you're like an older person and you love the Magnificent Seven or something, to then go back and watch Kurosawa's Seven Samurai or something to see where it all came from. That's always cool. It's a fun experience. It can be a little bit different if like a lot of the things that maybe in this cyberpunky stuff are a lot more prevalent in film now than they would have been when this came out. So sometimes it's odd to see, like, if you've watched 10 movies that deal with this, and then people are like, yo, you need to watch the original, go back and watch the one that started it all. You might go back and watch it and think, well, I've seen all this before, and not be not be impressed by it. But even just as an exercise, it's good to see where it all came from and go back.
If you like film and the themes go running underneath it, this is what you need to do, like, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So that was nice. Those are the two things. I couldn't really think of anything else, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. To be honest, you kind of took the two that I was thinking of myself. Like, the thing that sticks out mostly for me is just the visuals. That whole idea of the camera turning and the proportions staying the same on characters. It's just, I can't even think of how talented the people are who did that. Yeah, there's so much foreshortening and 3D spaces there, and it's not in just CG moments. It's just in like when she was on the rooftop and the camera just kind of pivoted around her. Like, it's stunning.
And like, it's even when the director says he places the most importance on visuals, it's plain to see. It's obvious that that's what he likes. That's his thing, is the visuals.
I suppose another unique thing I could say I liked the last few scenes during the Battle of the Tank, and when she's fighting it, and maybe it's the gore, but the look of the gore when she's trying to pull off the lid of the tank, and then there's a gentleness of her partner looking out for her and all this kind of stuff. And
when she brought a pistol to a tank fight.
She did bring it to be fair, I don't think she realized there was a fucking tank in there.
But I mean, she realized then, and she was talking to your man, was like, I'm gonna have to take the tank down. He's like, what have you got? I've got a pistol. He's like, are you crazy? She's like, I have to do
and
this.
then sure, that comes in with the perfect weapon for it. Like, absolutely
he turns up
perfect.
And just is like, oh, while you were doing that off screen, I went and picked up a giant bazooka. So like, why didn't you think to do that, maybe, Major? Come on. Like, pick up a fucking bazooka every once in a while, babe.
I like this. It's actually like a test model. Like,
I just stole it from section whatever the fuck when you were like, while I was off screen, I just went and did this. So whatever.
So, but I did like the scene because I think that's when they were doing when things were the worst and when things were very vulnerable. The characters actually acted like characters. There were people that we kind of could understand, people could have feelings for, and realize, they're just vulnerable. They were just trying to do their best. That's where most of the emotion in the movie was for me. But then it got all weird with angels coming down and helicopters shooting shit and heads falling apart. It kind of. I mean, maybe that's the whole point. That you had this vulnerable, beautiful thing, and then it just smashed apart.
Like, to me, the ending didn't get as weird as I thought it was going to get, to be honest. I really thought when she, like, dived into the AI's brain or whatever the hell she was doing.
Yeah.
I remember she was jacking in, and I literally said to you, I feel like this is going to get really weird. I thought they were going to do this whole, like, internal
3D space
visual,
inside,
like, weird shit and stuff, and it was just the two of them lying on the
floor.
It
was a bit unnerving, like him starting to talk through her and him being able to control. That Yolanda was super. It was unnerving, like.
Wasn't weird. I thought it was going to get like creepy or something. Not creepy, just strange. Than it already was.
It definitely was creepy, but it wasn't like as hyper. What's it called?
Like I thought it was gonna. I thought we were gonna dive into a Salvador Dali painting or something. It was just gonna get all like blown out and odd looking, but it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't. But look, I still like that scene. It's probably my favorite scene in the movie. After the combat, her lying on the tank, they acted humans. They acted like living beings, not just like, ain't everything terrible? Tell me about it, pal. Like, they were just like, thank you. I had a very bad day. Thanks for looking out for me. But anyway, look, that's it. 3 things we didn't like. I think we probably mentioned a whole bunch of times. I'll start with this one. The characters are empty vessels. There's not much to them. There's not a lot of. I mean, they give us all this lore and this story about how these people came to be, but we know nothing about them. We just know that these are humans that deal with technological stuff in their heads.
Yeah, they're
That's
just
pretty much it.
They really are the shells of the title. Like they don't like
no ghost in the shell.
No, they're not. They're just shells. There's no like they're none of them really have any personality. They don't even to me.
I mean,
to
maybe
be
that's
honest,
a part of it.
To be quite honest, like I didn't even like Major's motivation and this like need she feels that she's like suddenly like I have to get inside this thing's brain or whatever. I don't know where that came from. Honestly, it was just like, yeah, cool. She just really wants to do this for some reason. Like, there's a vague sort of hint at one point that she's hearing things, but Bato heard it too. So like, I don't know. It's like,
I think that was just puppet master, wasn't it?
I honestly don't know, to be honest. Because she finishes the quote later in the movie. She's like, "Oh, remember that voice we heard? This is what he really said," or something. It's like,
I don't think we cared at that stage.
I was like,
It's
it was
all
like,
right,
quoting Robert Frost or something. I don't know what the fuck.
Whose woods are these? I think I know.
If I should die in fire, all right. Like, all right, cool.
All right, where's the turn off button on this head? Yeah. To be honest, look, we already talked, I think, a lot about what we didn't like about this movie. I think, to be fair, there is probably there's reason to love this movie. It's just it's not any of my reasons.
Yeah, I'm never gonna sit here and tell somebody that if they love a movie that they're wrong for loving.
You just kick them
movie,
in the nuts,
you know?
like you said before.
If they try to tell me, if they try to convince me that my opinion that I'm wrong in not liking it, then you shut the fuck up, all right? But no, you can like whatever you want. I don't care. Like Ghost in the Shell, whatever.
Well, I think there's actually quality in there. It's just I don't think I care for that kind of quality.
Look, I think maybe honestly, part of it might be as well that it's not a Western movie.
No.
Right? And anime does things differently.
Yeah, different tropes, different cliches.
It can take some time to like ease yourself in to anime and get used to what's happening. All right, even if I start a new show or something, it can take a couple of episodes before I come to grips with, all right, I'm not watching a fucking soap opera or like a CW show here or something. I'm watching an anime, and then I can kind of sit with it. And this when we watched this, I hadn't watched an anime in a while, so maybe a lot of it was kind of just like, this is not, this is odd. Things are not happening the way I'm used to. So there's some of that, and like potentially, if
at least what all of anime has in common, from what I've learned, is breast.
Oh yeah,
just breasts everywhere.
Oh yeah,
usually.
You gotta have those. That's
I always kind of like when people think of Japan as like this Puritan place, because no,
absolutely not. No, like when people try to say Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime. It's not, man. There's no boobs in it.
No. Oh, thank God.
No boobs.
Like, I'm a breast man, but I don't want to see that in Avatar.
No boobs in it, man. So it's not an anime.
Unless it was Iroh, then I respect those boobs.
Nah, Iroh got the booty.
Let's not talk about the war criminal.
The dragon. You know the dragon of the west. The dragon of the west is his penis.
That would be the dragon of the south. You mean?
Hey! All right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Anyway, this is not about Avatar. Well, fuck, would we love to do a few things about Avatar at some stage? Yeah. So look, we'll go on to my favorite segment. And I think the Jesus moment for me is pretty much that she's in the nip or at least appears to be in nip for most of the movie. I mean, I was aware of it a little bit from like, posters and stuff, but not as much as I thought it'd be. And the thing is, the camera usually like focused on it or zoomed up on it, or it looked at the side of it. There's a lot of like, oh, we better get some boobs in these 3 seconds, or so help me.
Yeah, maybe they knew that I think I remember reading that the director was having an argument with the production team or whatever that wasn't enough action in the movie, of which, by the way, there is very little.
Yeah, there is.
But he didn't want that in the movie, so maybe the compromise was, well, Major will be naked all the time.
All right, I'm down.
And they
Cool.
just went, all right, yeah, well, no, all right, buddy, yeah. Count me in. Is she hot?
Gentlemen, we have a plan.
Yeah.
Everyone put their hands in the center. Go, go, go!
We've done it. We've cracked the code.
Yeah, that's my Jason moment. I think that's pretty much your Jason moment, unless I'm...
Oh, no, mine is...
Nipples don't do it for you, is it?
Nipples are not a Jesus moment for me, all right? They're everywhere.
I see them every day in the mirror.
Yeah. I spend hours looking at my own nipples sometimes.
That'll be the quote for when we post this. I look at my nipples for hours in the morning.
Yeah. No, the Jesus moment for me was in the final tank fight when Major lands on the tank and tries to like rip the top of the tank off with her hands, and they do a really intense close up of like her back, and all of her like tendons and muscles start like tearing and stretching and rippling on her back, and then her arms like rip off. And I was just like, oh Jesus, that was hard to look at. Like, it was,
to be fair, there were nipples in that scene too.
There were, because she was naked again, because she went invisible to get... fair enough.
There you go.
There was nipples in that scene, but it wasn't the nipples that I was Jesus-ing about. It was more just...
So more like nipples out of the shell, am I right?
More like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, this entire podcast has fallen apart into nipple territory at every corner.
The nipples are the ghosts. All right?
We've cracked onto the themes. We've got to call him. It's like, yeah, man, it's the nipples in the ghost, aren't they? Like, you finally found out.
Somebody finally understands my movie. Thank God.
Yeah,
that was mine. That was mine. I found that very just like, that was uncomfortable to look at. That was the most weird.
But that's what I said. I actually like that scene because of the gore, because it was realistic gore. It wasn't just over the top. Oh,
it's gory. Like, they did it a bit in the one and only other fight in the movie, where she like snaps that guy's wrists and ankles and stuff. That was a bit like, but it looked a bit cartoony because it was just,
it did look like something was inside a glove.
Yeah, it was like, but this was just a lot for me. It was kind of like, oh, okay, cool,
right,
yeah.
Let's move on to our final thoughts.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Anyway, so our final thoughts. I'll let Owen jump on this one first.
Anime is for nerds and losers. Don't watch it. Suck a dick. Except
my final thoughts are that we're both nerds and losers, and we watched it.
No, okay. My final thoughts are there's some things that I can really appreciate about this, and it was a lovely experience for me to go back and watch something that influenced movies that I love. But I don't think this is great. I would not consider this, like, as most would say, one of the best movies ever made, or whatever the fuck. It's not that good. It's just, it's kind of, it's oddly philosophical in a weird way. It's the dialogue.
It doesn't give you answers. It just asks questions.
The dialogue is nonsense most of the time. There's no personality really to it, but it's nice to look at, and if you're into that sort of thing, then more power to you.
Kind of going on from what Owen said, I don't think it's a great movie, but I think it's an important movie. Like you said before in some of the other points, like, this is a movie that had a lot of knock-on effects in other movies. A lot of people took inspirations and ideas from this movie and did their own thing. Now, is it a movie I personally enjoy? And I mean, I sometimes think about, like, do I have the energy to look more into this? Do I have the energy to look more into the themes and what's going on behind the scenes? And I personally don't think I would get much of a reward out of that. Like if I did that, I don't think it'll do it for me. Maybe one day I'll read the manga, maybe see there's something else to it. But as a whole, it's a movie that's important, but it's not a movie for everyone. It's not a movie that everyone has to watch. It's just, if you like anime and if you like things like The Matrix, it's worth at least watching once. And that's
I will say that I enjoyed the research process for this episode more than I enjoyed watching the movie. I liked reading about like filmmakers that I love and sharing their opinion of this, and kind of going back into some of the, it's like the film history nerd in me enjoyed reading about these things, and so it is an important movie in the
it's a thoughtful movie too, to be fair,
of Western film, even if it came from the East. But you know, like every good house needs a foundation, so this kind of laid the foundation for a lot of important works and great works that came afterwards. So that's cool.
And look here, let's throw down. We haven't had a question, I think, last time. But here, give us a movie that you think is a good route for other movies. An older movie that kind of established a genre, or a think piece of movie that other movies took a lot of inspiration from. Like, name your favorite one of those. And yeah, that's us for today, I believe. I'm gonna look at Owen right now and say, "Hey, Owen, do you know what we're gonna watch next week?"
Oh yeah, I do. I'm not even doing a teaser because I'm way too excited to even pretend.
Oh no, you gotta give us a little teaser. Come on,
I want to just tell people.
Okay,
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's finally happening. We're doing Wild Mountain Time.
Oh yeah, no. No, I'm looking forward to that.
I genuinely cannot wait to witness the sheer shit show that this movie is about to be.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I'm so excited. I hope you all watch, listen, whatever. Oh, hey, watch. We're on YouTube, sorry now.
Oh, we are. That will be on, actually, Irish, what we were saying.
It will be.
All our other podcasts are going to be slowly put up there over time. We're going to maybe put a week in between, so people on YouTube will be a bit behind, but it's mostly so that, we can trick the algorithm into, hey, we're creating content, don't just whitelist us. Ooh,
Yeah, and they're long as well. We tried as well. I posted on Facebook about this, that if just like, I wasn't sure if people liked the longer episodes we did, or the like little short things we were trying out. So this one is a little bit shorter. So I don't know, just let us know. Just say, hey guys, no, you can talk more shit. You don't have to limit yourselves to 40 minutes.
I mean,
whatever.
Look, and behind the scenes, me and Owen have talked about a few different kind of programs we could play on this podcast, and like what kind of things we could do. We'd talk about maybe following TV programs and that kind of thing in future. And we have all sorts of ideas. And for the next year, like, don't worry about us being disheartened. We're not. We're doing this for ourselves as much as for everyone else. And we have plans to change a few things up in the next year. But we'd love your suggestions. It honestly would help us so much, I think.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to send me money, just let me know, and I'll set you up. I'll give you my
just danielscorkin1990@gmail.com. Send on to my PayPal there. Cool.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna announce my personal email address to the world.
I don't care. Get doxxed, bitch.
The CIA are gonna kick in your door any second.
With a nice euro, one for all, Sir, €20 voucher.
I heard you've been talking shit about nipples. You don't go for that here.
Hey, you didn't even make fun of Americans this episode.
No. Well, I made fun of weebs.
They're not American.
There are a lot of Americans.
Not anyone outside of Japan who's into massive Japanese things is usually weebish.
Yeah, and a lot of those people are Americans.
It's weak. You're weak.
Look, I'm trying. Okay, if you really want me to, I can think of something to make fun of Americans.
No. The moment's gone. It's over. Okay, right. Cozzy likes Americans now. There you go, folks.
All right.
No, we do actually like Americans. We're just taking the piss. Take the piss off us all the time. Love you. Anyway. No, genuinely, when we're taking piss off people, we'll kind of expect.
Yeah, and Americans are the same ethnicity as us, so it's okay.
Well, some of them.
I can't make fun of Japanese people, can I?
No, you can't.
See?
You shouldn't. I mean, unless Japanese people start making fun of us, then it'd be like, let's have some crack, lads. Way, you know?
Yeah, the Japanese.
Wait, can we make fun of Japanese Americans?
No, we can't.
No.
When I'm making fun of Americans, I'm strictly talking about white, upper class Irish American. Am I? No, I'm not at all. Generalizing
look,
a
to be honest, we're kind of babbling on, folks. Like always, we want to thank you for listening. We'd love you if you commented. Like, genuinely love you. I bring you on a date. I bring roses and chocolates, and we'd have some soup on the beach with some cocktails, and it'd be like a really nice atmosphere. 2 meters apart though, and with masks because COVID. But we'd love you. Love you.
And if whenever Dan is done doing his weird ASMR ending,
yeah,
we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, babe.
Asherlo. It's a big grand.